Jesus Christ. Listen, this film is nowhere near as terrible as everyone on the internet is saying, but my god, is this disappointing. I am so bought in to this James Gunn universe and the idea that we are reverting in the second film of his universe back to 2014 Marvel humor does not spell very well for the future of this universe. Supergirl is a follow-up to the 2025 film Superman, starring David Corenswet, directed and written by James Gunn. Massive success, massively popular with me personally. I am a massive fan of that film, and I think that what James Gunn is trying to do with this universe is worthwhile. Not all of these stories need to be deeply connected, not all of these stories need to have the same vibe, and that they can be horror films, action films, comedy, horror, so on and so forth, and that they can have their own distinctive feel, and they do not need to reach out to an incredibly wide demographic to still be successful. We do not need to build this universe as a copy and paste of Marvel. However, this film fails and betrays that vision in every sense of the word. The humor is too close to both Superman and 2014 Marvel, in the sense that a lot of that humor kind of still works with Superman because David Corenswet and Superman are that white picket fence American, where you're not expecting dick jokes and fart jokes and Superman swearing and all that. You're expecting the character to kind of be a bit cringy, a bit cheesy, and so you kind of are able to make accommodations for the fact that maybe his jokes are incredibly basic. But with this film, we were promised that she was going to be imperfect, she was going to be messy, she was going to be an anti-hero, and all these things. The vibe of this is actually just that she makes dick jokes. Oh, she drinks alcohol a lot.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the knife.
She kills people occasionally, which Superman also kills people occasionally. And so I'm struggling to know what it is about this film that is actually so distinct in vibe and intention that I should feel different about it compared to Superman. I want to like this film, and yet everything about this film, other than the performances, would indicate that they're not even trying. The main focus of this is that the writing of this film is fucking atrocious. This is a terrible script based on an incredibly basic villain who has no motivation for being in this story other than we need a villain to go up against Millie Alcock. The main motivation seemingly is that he's sex trafficking women, which is a plot point that is mentioned for a total of about 10 seconds. It's kind of just treated as like, oh yeah, that's what he does, I guess. If this is a film about women, for women, would you not expect a bit more care and nuance applied to the story about sex trafficking? And yet what we get is something that is weird, out of place, deeply dark in a film that wants to be grounded and humorful all at once. And yet this is treated as nothing more than a beat in a plot line to move the film and to give Millie Alcock a semblance of motivation to try and be a good person. It's incredibly weird. The character of Kara and Supergirl is written incredibly weird. Again, this is written by a woman, for women, about women, and yet they refuse to give Kara a single moment of heroism or anything that would suggest that she is capable of good. I am not asking for her to be Superman, but you could at least give her a moment of like, yeah, she's a good person. Yet continuously, every time she is on the verge of doing something heroic, the film feels the need to undercut her and go like, no, she's incompetent, she's fucking stupid. And I don't understand why you would characterize your protagonist that way. The vibe of Supergirl is always that she's incredibly competent. She just doesn't care. And that should be the main crux of this film. And instead, they continuously undercut her. They make it seem almost as if she's like a 1950s housewife that is suddenly just given powers but doesn't know how to do anything other than cook and wash the dishes. And so she's like, oh, what am I meant to do? I don't know anything. I don't even leave the house unless my husband tells me to. And that is so disappointing for what is a great actress in Millie Alcock. She's really given it her all in this. She gives a lot of gravitas to this performance. She kind of delivers this to be humorful when it needs to be. When it needs to be a bit more somber and grounded, she delivers that, even though the moments when she is somber and grounded fall flat. Why is this film taking a 15 to 20 minute uninterrupted break in the middle of the film to go into the origin story of Supergirl? James Gunn went on record and said, we're not doing Batman's origin story, we're not doing Superman's, you don't need to see that, you already know the origins. So why therefore, in the second film of the James Gunn universe, would you explain the origin story of Supergirl that is only marginally different from Superman and does nothing to actually establish why she is the way that she is? Feels like this was written by a 22-year-old that grew up in the 2013-2014 Marvel era. I want to write a Marvel film, and you know who my favorite character is? Supergirl. So I'm going to make a Marvel film with her. No, James Gunn said we weren't doing that. He said that we're not making films unless the script is good, unless it's fully finished, and I can verifiably say that based on this script, this film will work. What about this script suggested that it's going to work? It's basic, it's entirely based on caricatures and tropey natures of characters. There is very little that is appealing. The brutality of the film, I do like. I think that the opening 20 minutes of the film is damn good, but again, a lot of that comes down to Millie Alcock and little else. There is very little here other than the performances of the three main characters in Millie Alcock as Supergirl, Eve Ridley as the little girl whose name I've already forgotten, to be honest with you, and Jason Momoa as Lobo. I like all three of these characters. Millie Alcock is by far and away the best character. Eve Ridley, for a girl who seemingly is about 12, 13, I think that we might have an actress in her. She brings a lot of energy to her performance. She's kind of incredibly unlikable and prim and proper when she needs to be. When she needs to be angry and hate-filled, she brings that as well, which I'm quite surprised for an actress of her age. I think that she's one to look out for. Jason Momoa, against my better judgment, I'm a fan of his performance in this film, but it is just Jason Momoa doing Jason Momoa things, which again, I thought we weren't doing that. I thought we were making something different and better. So why would you have him here? It doesn't make sense. Listen, this film is overwhelmingly okay, and I think if you're a massive fan of the Supergirl character, there will be a lot here that you will enjoy. But quite frankly, I find this really underwhelming, and I think that for the majority of people, this is a real downer after the highs of Superman. And listen, we're not getting a Batman film in this universe until like 2029. So these early films need to work better than this. I'm really struggling to get behind this film in a more positive way. I don't even hate this film, but I am so disappointed by it.